The internet brings comic fans around the world into one comic book community. Comic creators and comic fans, tonight you are seen, heard, recognized. Because comics are for everyone. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, live from Miami, Florida, broadcasting around the world. This is the Not Near Mint Show.
Welcome to the Not Near Mint Show, everybody. It is Friday. Welcome to the end of the week. So we usually do the top 10 at the very beginning of the show. This show's going to be no different. So why don't we just jump right in? So we have number 10 on our list. And just to give you a really quick reason why we do this, every Sunday you might want to know what comics to buy on eBay because auctions are closing. You don't know whether you're overpaying or underpaying. Well, I have 26,500 comic books, and if you put everything into CLZ and then you also join CovrPrice and you run a value update, it will compare against everything that's been known to have been sold, whether it's Heritage, eBay, whatnot, any confirmed sale. And it's based off of at least one sale. So some of these can go wildly up or wildly down. I'm okay with either because if something's going up, I might not bid on that particular type of title. Or if something's dropped heavily, I might want to fill in my fill-in issues. So here we go with number 10. This was the biggest drop of the week. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 101. This is the first appearance of Lita. This was a big character. Also, Bandit, Bee, Diamond, and Poogie. This came out in 2020 in Near Mint. This you can now buy for $3. It dropped $73. Somebody was once paying almost $100 for this, but because the series ended and now it restarted under Jason Aaron, it has come down quite a bit. So if you're looking for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle titles, now might be that time. Number 9, we have kind of a surprise. Planet Comics, Volume 3, Issue 1. This is a classic Good Girl cover by Dave Stevens. This came out in 1988. In a very fine plus, this goes for $137 this week. It is down $64. Because of the documentary series that came out from about Dave Stevens, a lot of his books shot up. But because that's been out for a while, like I always say, if you want to pay for a book and you know it's up there and it's hit a top 10 list, give it about 6 weeks. Check back. If it's still up there, wait 6 months. After 6 months, if it's still high, you might as well buy because at that point, it's not coming down. Next up, we have number 8, also in issue 8. This is the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror. This is also dropped from 1964 in a good VG condition 3.0. Raw, you can find it for $252 this week, down $61. We all know why this is dropped. Whether or not Marvel decides to go through with the MCU version of Kang, but as a different character, we will find out soon enough. Meanwhile, in the chat, I'm seeing Michael Emund. Hey, good to see you again, brother. TK's Batcave is here. Hi, we haven't seen you. I'll make sure that I make you a mod in just a few minutes. All right, next up, we have number 7, Submariner number 20. This is the first Doctor Doom versus Namor battle. And I guess this might be part of that thing that I just said earlier. A lot of these top 10 books, when they're not in the spotlight for a while, you can find them for a little less. This thing came out in 1969 in a fine, very fine 7.0 raw. You can get this for $56. It dropped $61. So this was a $100 book a couple weeks ago, but you can get it for a little less now. So, I mean, a lot of those Submariner books, they're not a lot of money, but certain ones were a little up there. So it's kind of good that it's coming down for folks that want to finish their runs of Namor. Next up, we have number 6, classic Bad Girl cover by Adam Hughes. It seems the Good Girls and Bad Girls, other people are trying to get the Ultimates and the Absolute titles. Meanwhile, maybe certain other things should be on your eyes or on your list. No, I meant the first time around. So this, it came out in 2006 and a near mint $147. It is down $33. A couple years ago, this was a $100 book. 2021 and the pandemic rolled around, got up to about 200, and it's coming back down. I mean, it's not rare exactly, but a lot of people want it and they're not giving it up. Few people are. But if you wait until just after Christmas, between Christmas and just after New Year's, the 5th is rolling around, rent is due, and a lot of people have spent money on the holidays, maybe past their budget, and you can get a lot of books for less because people will be dumping so that they can pay rent. Number 5, we have Green Lantern Volume 2, Issue 9. This is the first cover appearance of Sinestro. His first appearance is Issue 7. This is 9. It came out in 1961 and a VG minus. It is up $43, now at $168. So Green Lantern, specifically, Sinestro, the big characters, they're coming to the DC universe, film universe. So people are looking at those more. You might want to hold off a bit. Now, this is another one of those books that's been up and down, and this time it's up. This is 94, X-Men. This is the second appearance of the new X-Men, first non-reprint story featuring the second appearance of Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, and Thunderbird, 5th overall appearance of Wolverine. Came out in 1975 and on a fine plus 6.5 raw, $438. It is up 54. No particular reason for that particular issue to be going up, but Kevin Feige's making statements about, I know exactly how the mutants are going to arrive in the MCU, and that's about as vague as he made it. Now, this is a bit of a surprise. There's no real reason for this going up as much as it did. Joker number 9. This is the final low print issue of this series. It's a Catwoman cover, and way back when this thing was coming out, because of the comics code, you really didn't have many villains being the lead in their own book. And because of that, they had to really tame down Joker. I mean, right after you had Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams make it so that the Joker was deadly and a homicidal maniac again, it seemed like a shift when you had this kind of version of the character that really wasn't such of a killer during this series. So it ended at issue 9, came out in 1976, and a very fine $119. It is up $65. Might want to hold off on that one. Now, this is some news that broke this week. We already knew that Sergeant Rock was having a movie coming out, and we knew that a director was attached. But now we know who's going to be starring as Sergeant Rock. So now that things are coming together, we're seeing some prices rates here and there. Now, this isn't exactly a key, but it is issue number 112 of Our Army at War. This is a classic Joe Kubert Easy Company roster cover. Came out in 1961 in a VG plus. That's a 4.5 and raw, $169. It is up $99. And if you go on eBay right now, there are people that are trying to sell like 4.0s, 3.0s raw for about $300. So definitely don't overpay for that. There's plenty of them out there, but war collectors, they don't give up a lot of their books. Luckily, I had a guy named Bill that both Miracleman and I wound up getting some books from, and that's how we kind of get them, from longtime collectors, and this is just how we do it. Now, here we have number 1 comic in all the land. It is not Eclipso number 1. And the reason why it's not Eclipso number 1 is because really nobody wants this. I've had this since the day it came out. The reason why nobody wants this, you could probably see here in the light. There's a gem on this cover that if you put this against another book, like let's say the real number 1 book in all the land, it will imprint on the back of the book and sometimes push all the way through the front. So let's talk about the number 1 book. This thing has been down almost all year long. And the reason why is because the Blade film has been canceled, and it has just been canceled recently. So the line in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie where Blade says there's only going to be one Blade, it looks like that was a prophetic line, because Well, people are starting to pick this up again. It came out in 1973 in a fine, very fine 7.0 raw. Somebody paid $1,000 for this week. It is up $456. It is the wildest, widest swing up of any book that came out this week. And that's the top 10. And we're just going to start seeing some books that we have picked over the last week. So let's say hi to Miracleman. Hey, Miracleman.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good now. No, you're always running around because you're going, okay, I had some books that I was going to show. Oh, wait, I forgot about this one. Oh, and there's this one. Where did I put this one? I'll be right back.
Yeah, actually, I had to, as you know, I had to run and grab something that I promised to show everybody. I mean, I can't show the insides, but I had promised to show everybody on the show a couple of weeks back. So I had to go grab that. But yeah, no, how are you? I'm doing great. I got comics. You had some cool comics there. Liked it. Loved it.
I do what I can. Instead of showing the videos like I usually do at the tail end of the episode, I'm just going to show them at some point during the show. They're the new books that came out this week, and they should get a little bit more love because going into 2025, after redoing this whole room here, oh God, do I really want another volume of Amazing Spider-Man if it starts? Or, I mean, Justice League will be written by Mark Waid, so I will probably be picking that up. Absolute Superman, absolute Wonder Woman, absolute everything is fantastic, so I'm going to be picking up all of it. And I just want to start dropping books because I'm not going to have the room for it.
Yeah, I was thinking about removing drywall to fit more comics. I'm not sure if I'm there yet. Maybe soon.
Do you own or rent?
Both.
Oh. So you're renting to own.
That's right. I'm paying a price like I own, but it is renting.
Gotcha. So just tell them, hey, I'm going to make the place a lot nicer. I'm not going to remove any structural components that'll make the whole rest of the wall fall down. Just some drywall here and there. It'll make it look good.
I have exceptionally high vaulted ceilings. So, I'm trying to figure out a way to dangle comics from the ceiling at this point, but I'll make it work. I'm not too worried about it. Believe it or not, The Rock is not going to play Sergeant Rock. Like first of all, I mean, thank God, but what a missed opportunity to not have The Rock play Sergeant Rock.
Okay, so hear me out on this one here. It would have been a great idea to get The Rock as The Rock, but maybe for an alternative universe, if you're going to reset it, because The Rock only makes movies in the jungle, or at least his contract has it so that he appears at least in one scene in the jungle in full decked out khaki wear. So I'm sure he'd love to put on the military khakis, maybe the helmet, and give the little scrunched up grin. And yeah, I could see it, but no, it's going to be Daniel Craig from the James Bond movies.
Would The Rock chew the cigar, though? That's the question I have. Would The Rock pop that cancerous tobacco wrap death stick in his mouth and go emote through the whole film chomping on it?
I mean, after the disaster that was Black Adam, maybe he could have a Jim Carrey turn of phrase where he decides that, you know what, I made a really good movie and I could have won an Oscar. Maybe I should go in that route. So maybe The Rock would actually like to act, because usually it's just The Rock in a movie playing The Rock.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like all the Jack Nicholson movies.
Yes, he's always playing Jack Nicholson. That Black Adam movie, what a letdown. But I don't, the side characters, the JSA, so to speak, I really think they did a great job. All the actors for the JSA were fantastic. It was just a disjointed, goofy, freaking script. It was a bad way to introduce Black Adam. They couldn't figure out which of the modern day sayings he got and didn't get. It was they just flubbed it. They had a good pass. They were so good. They had a good pass on that movie, and they dropped the ball all the way around. So
it looked like it was written back in the 1990s, because when that kid started skateboarding around in Afghanistan, I realized, who is this made for?
right.
Was this supposed to be starring Edward Furlong right after he finished Terminator 2?
Yep, that's what it felt like. You're right, no doubt about it. That's an
But every time, Hawkman was great. Why do I want to call her Whirlwind? The girl with there you go, Cyclone, with the red hair. She was great in it. I liked all the characters that were JSA, but the second that Black Adam stepped onto the screen, it's like, sucks all the fun. It was a fun vampire.
I was even okay that they made Carter more Qatar than Carter. Carter as a cop, no. Qatar as a cop, obviously, but Qatar
is a space cop,
Carter. Right? Space cop. That's very specific.
I mean, if Rip Hunter just would have shown up out of nowhere, that would have been a great moment. But no, we need to specialize all of this on Black Adam, despite the fact that every scene with him in it is pointless.
Right. It was just goof. It was a goof of a movie, which is a real shame, especially seeing as how they gave us Superman at the end.
Oh, that's another thing to comment on. So just the other day, you had James Gunn in an interview talking about, so the new Peacemaker season, everything is canon with one exception, the Justice League at the end of the series. That never happened. Otherwise, everything else is canon.
Right. Which, like, duh, obviously, right? Like, Justice League is gone. Like, they don't exist. So, or at least the Justice League that we knew. I personally am very hopeful that we get Jason Momoa back. I think he was a very bright, shining star within the previous DC universe. He would be perfect for Lobo. He would nail it. I hope we
raccoon eyes.
Yeah. The Flash was awful, from characterization, from the word go, the first scene on until the end of his movie. Just awful. Not the right guy at all. Gal Gadot, I thought, was great. Diesel Batman was good. Machine Gun Batman, not so much. But, Diesel Batman, I liked. Anyway, we're getting way off topic. You want to show some comics?
Yeah, let's see what you've picked up, because I will grab the new books that came out this past week, show those in a few minutes. But I know you got some really cool Trina Robbins stuff that you were promising us. I've been making people wait almost 20 minutes.
Yeah.
How about we show some books?
Yeah, I've been yabbering, huh? So I'm going to wait. I'm going to save my two favorites for last. They're going to go last. So last week I had that big pile of underground and adult books that I was showing off. Not to be outdone, Saturday I went to a little spot. It's a shop that's slowly dying, but he's got a ton of underground stuff left. And I picked some books up. Here's Personality Comics presents Headlights. Little too literal on this one, huh, gang?
Headlights.
Warning. Banger alert.
Different kind of banger alert.
Different kind of banger. And then, last week I had a Ms. Fantastic. Here's a Ms. Fantastic Classics. Another really fun book. That's CCP Conquest, I think, is the publisher of that. This one, some people are going to get mad. And to that I say, not you. Some people had negative impact things to say about this book when I posted it. Little Greta Garbage #1 from Ripoff Press. Yep, that's Little Orphan Annie. Yep. Believe it or not, 2 issues came out of this book. Little Orphan Annie here gets hooked on the crack cocaine. And Little Greta Garbage here gets hooked on the crack cocaine. And that's true, Michael. And she turns to a life of, well, I'll let you guess what she's doing in that outfit in that alley. But
Partying.
But then our mutual acquaintance Bill in Colorado, he sent me a pile of books which I was really excited about. Check this out. That's Boris Karloff. So he did Tales of Mystery for Gold Key, but the first 2 issues were called Thriller. There's issue 2. Beautiful
Nice.
copy. Little bit, and I didn't realize this, but these were extra. It was almost a square bound. It was a really big book. And then there's number 5. That one's a little rougher, but they start getting much nicer. Here's number 7. And I got a soft spot for these. There's number 11. First of all, I love the painted covers. Gold Key, number 12. They had to do the painted covers because once you got inside, not that great usually. Number 13, especially if you compared them to their contemporaries. Number 14. It's not that they were bad per se. Number 15, but they weren't exciting like picking up a Superman or a Batman of the 60s would have been, or a Spider-Man, here's number 16. The art was still very good. It was very solid art. But the colors always seem kind of subdued to me. There's a number 17 right there. And look at the condition of these. They're all like this. I mean, they're nice. They're tight.
Oh.
They're good corners. This was a really great, and really thank you very much, Bill. He threw this one in here. This is Lancer number 2. It looks like it's Old West. I don't know. But
yeah, I'm kind of curious now. Michael is saying Boris Karloff presents covers of misleading art. How does the interiors look?
So, they had a predominant artist doing the painted covers, right? Like I think there was a couple different people, but there was one person who did most of them. The name is completely escaping me right now, but the interiors are nothing at all like that. Again, it's competent art, but it's how do you make a guy in a scuba suit look exciting? You know what I mean? Like it's not. And here, like, look, this guy's a pirate. That's the blandest looking pirate I've ever seen in my life. He's not a parrot. He doesn't have a cutlass. Like, where's his? He could have had a flagon of ale. All right, that guy back there's got a flintlock. Why is the captain not got? I mean, if he does, there it is. I guess it's pretty. It's not bad. It's not bad art. And, they did some really fantastical stories. But this was like Twilight Zone, but if made for the flapper era when they were boomers' age. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Add that all up. It'll make sense. It was the 60s. These were, to me, who I feel like bought Gold Key comics back then? The only adults buying comics. Because
or the people that still bought them from the 40s, but now wanted to buy the more mature stuff. And hey, Boris Karloff, I could get on board with that.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And then, like I said, we contain multitudes, right, my friend? Yep. So while I got some Gold Key and I got some underground and adult stuff there, I also got Biker Mice from Mars number 1 newsstand edition.
Oh.
Here is Disney's Aladdin number 1, also the newsstand edition.
Those are the ones to find.
Here's Walt Disney's Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Here is Archie's Love Showdown Special.
Oh, hot.
Now, I have a special place in my heart for Archie books. Again,
Dan Carlin?
DeCarlo and Dan Parent.
Oh,
the pair of Dans. Right? And I got to meet Dan Parent last summer. He's a really nice guy. He's a very nice dude. Really, really, really enjoyed talking to him. Talked to him for like 20 minutes. Really nice guy. But I saw these all came out of a dollar bid, believe it or not. That's a Deadly Duo number 1. Deadly Duo is an Eric Larson.
Is that characters. Spawn?
And that's Spawn. That's a Spawn cover. Taking up almost all the cover from the stars of the book. Fucking Spawn.
Buy it for Spawn. You open up the book and hey, where's Spawn?
It's probably like one page of Spawn in there, knowing they did that a lot back then. Harley Quinn number 5. This is from the New 52 run. Look, I was never a big Harley fan in general. And then, Margot played her and I was like, all right, well, I like this. And, I grabbed a trade one time from the Connor and Palmiotti run. And first of all, Amanda Connor, she could draw anything and I'd want to buy it. She's an incredible illustrator. I love her work. And Jimmy's funny. Jimmy's a funny guy. He knows how to put together a solid story. He also knows how to make you laugh. And, if you've seen the cartoon, everybody knows who this guy is right there. He's in the animated. They're genuinely really good. The Connor and Palmiotti run is fantastic. Here's The Punisher Presents Barracuda number 4. It's one of their Max series books. Garth Ennis, Garth Ennis Punisher. That's the Punisher to read. That is the Punisher.
And Barracuda was the longest running villain of the entire series because Punisher doesn't play around. He takes care of his villains.
Here's a real low unknown book from Nemesis. That's the publisher. Frank number 1. Yes, that's Frankenstein's monster.
Oh.
And look who the penciler is all the way at the end there.
Dennis Cowan.
That's right. Beautiful.
Mr. Milestone.
92, 94, something like that. So right after Milestone or while Milestone was going on, Dennis did that. And then last one. Now, again, this was $1. It's got a little nibble on it. I think a little mouse got to it. But for $1, Luke Cage, number 15. Look at that.
Is that the one where the next issue has Doom on the cover, and that's the one that starts the story?
Yes.
Nice.
Now, for my back issues, I think that's pretty much it, except for the 3 that I was really excited to show you. And I got a bonus one I'm going to show you too here. I got a pile of newer books here too that I could show you after, if you want to show some books after this. But let me show these real quick. Trina Robbins, I'm a big fan. I think I've talked about her many, 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 many times. I love Trina's work. She's a pioneer in the underground comics world. From 1990, Trina Robbins' Near Myths from Ripoff Press. Bought this brand new at the shop here. Never left the store. Been there since 1990. That was only $4. Look at that. Isn't that great? I love her. I love her so much. And now these were 2 that were really tough to come by, and I was really lucky to find them. Guy had the pair of them. I spent $20 for the pair of them. Okay. From the Print Mint. That's the publisher. Girl Fight Comics number 1. This is a Trina Robbins book. Yes, all of these things do indeed appear in this book. Can I show you the back? Yes, there's the art on the back. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful book. And then here's,
even if there's nudity, as long as it's tasteful.
1972. This one's from 1974. Girl Fight Comics number 2. Trina was the first woman to ever draw Wonder Woman. And that didn't happen until she drew her with, I believe, with Kurt Busiek. There's some boobalas. I love her work. I love her style all the way. Just everything she does. And on top of that, she really was like I said, she was such a pioneer in the underground industry. I think she was one of the first women to get real work in the industry. And I think I mentioned this before. It's the last thing I'll show here. Like I said, I got some new stuff, but you can go next. So a couple weeks ago, I had mentioned how Trina had a lot of jobs in her life. One of those jobs back in the very early 60s was as a pinup model. And I have one magazine. There's more. She appeared in many under her maiden name, Trina. What was it? Trina Castillo. 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 Yeah. See, I don't
Yeah,
get
if
the
you're in
attention.
Miami, it's Castillo.
There you go. This is issue of Caper from I want to say it's May 1961. Okay. Yeah, it's a little scuffing on here, right? I don't know if can I show this? Can I show any of these
I
pictures?
have first I have two questions. One,
Yeah.
can you show us the pinup? And two, do you have a black light?
I do not have a black light, and I don't know. Am I allowed to show the pinup? Is that okay? We're not going to
Yeah,
have. Okay,
I
it's
don't
not
think
full
so.
frontal. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
1961, but there she is. There's Trina Robbins in all of her young glory as a young woman. Very very pretty girl. Very pretty girl. But she did a whole pictorial here, and I don't want to get in trouble here. But yeah, Michael. But I have a local guy who's got a bunch more of these that I'm going to try and track down. Just because why not, right? I mean, what the heck?
Yeah.
So you only live once. So but that's it. That's all my back issue stuff that I got this week.
Well, going back to the beginning of the show when I was saying I kind of really need to cut down my pull list. Big reasons. This was everything that I got this week.
Jesus. You still buying Spawn, man? Stop buying Spawn, man.
Yeah, I need to find a buyer for that. It's just taking up room. It's in 2 long boxes without a top. Shows you how much I give a shit about Spawn. Sorry, not sorry. All right. So here we go. These are the books that came out this week. It's not all of them because there were a few that were damaged. There are a couple that came in from this week that was damaged last week. So here we go. We're going to start with Avengers Assemble number 3. I'm not reading this right now, but the issue 3 has this first cover appearances of the, what is that? Night Stalkers. Yeah, Night Stalkers. So yeah, I don't know who the Night Stalkers are, but the first appearance on a spoiler cover for $3.99. Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and get that.
Do they stalk the night, perhaps?
Now, another problem I'm having right now. I think after the Blood Hunt and the Blood Hunters and Miles becoming a permanent vampire, as it appears, they need some more vampire hunters because Blade was the ruler of the vampires and he was tricked. It was a whole thing. So yeah, they need more vampires, I guess. Here we have Chasm or Chasm. I know it's Chasm, but people are calling Shazam Shazam, so I'm going to call this Shazam.
People are doing what now?
They're calling Captain Marvel Shazam. It's the great legend that always calls him that. Instead of calling him Shazam, he calls him Shazam.
Okay. All right,
so instead of Chasm, Chasm. Because nobody likes Chasm here. Oh, cool. So apparently Bill was just watching. I just saw a text come in from him. So here is Daredevil that came out this last week, and nice little cover, but compared to the variant cover, I mean, I love you, John Romita Jr., but not as much as this.
Ooh, wow.
Just crushing his head. It is Perillo, right? Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get all the different variant covers because it's not like they're going to go up. They just take up space. So it's really just pick whichever cover that you like and go with that one. Because unless there's a first appearance in it, why bother with all the hundred of millions of variant covers? And as I say that, here is the second print of Deadpool with that first Ellie Camacho as Deadpool. That came out this week. Mm-hmm. Now, here's another one of the glut of X-Men titles, but it has Kitty Pryde in it, so I'm getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Michael's saying, please call me My Kill. My Kill, like Cyber Kill or whatever that was.
Accurate.
Yeah, I'm still getting there. Great looking cover. I just haven't read it in the last 5 or 6 issues.
Yeah.
This has been killer lately, mostly just because, okay, so Miles is a vampire. He'll turn back at the end of Blood Hunt. Wait a second, he's still a vampire. Yeah, that's why he's wearing this suit, because anytime that he gets a bloodlust, the suit will feed him, so he doesn't want to kill anybody.
Oh.
Kind of cool.
Oh.
Now, this is another one of those titles that's a little annoying right now because they rebooted it so many damn times. And here is Moon Knight. This is The Fist of Khonshu. This is the new reboot by Jed McKay. I think this is the second time it's been rebooted since he did his like 30-issue stint. And then we have Phases of the Moon Knight at issue 4. So you can absolutely get confused as to whichever one is the ongoing series. Like
Nothing
those
like making it
exist
easy.
Marvel and DC, right? Now, here's another one I'm not reading, but I like the cover, so I had to get it.
Nice.
And next up, I did get 3 different covers of this because this is the first in-story appearance of a character called Amaranth. And she appears on the cover of issue 6 of Scarlet Witch.
Oh, look at that.
And Amaranth will be appearing later this year, or maybe at the beginning of next year when it's released, called New Champions. So just like how we had the old champions that were, Ms. Marvel, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and all the different teenage heroes. Well, now these are all the new legacy heroes, and I guess they're going to find out which one pops. Here's the foil cover of that Amaranth. Very pretty looking. Anything that shines, right? And here is the lyrics cover.
Nice.
Very. And his stuff is kind of anime-ish. It doesn't work always for me, but sometimes it really hits, and this one hits.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's another one where I just have random issues at this point. Ghost Spider. I got like 3 runs of it that I just gave away because I'm like, well, there's nothing really that happens.
Right.
And here's the final issue variant cover of Spider-Man Reign. First series was pretty good. I liked it. Now that it's over, I guess I can read it. Now, this is another one that was a hit this week. Ultimate Spider-Man number 12, or 11 rather. First cover appearance of the new Black Cat. She appears in the book only a little bit. Good design, though. Speaking of good designs, here is the variant cover for Venom War. It's Jeff with Gwenpool being a Venom. And I always loved the original run of Gwenpool because she was so meta that she knew she was in a story. She knew story elements, and it really applied to the book. The first run, fantastic. Second run, not so much. I've been hearing from a lot of people this was the best story that they read all week. I'm surprised myself. I'm not going to say anything about it because I haven't read it yet, but this will be read pretty quickly because I've been working on this room, and I'll show you towards the end of the show. Now, here's another book that I really want to cut because there's a lot of mutant books I want to cut. Wolverine, because I don't need another volume of Wolverine. But hey, there's a new villain in it. Oh, okay. Now, I don't know when, but one day I'll probably stop with Action Comics, but not when it's written by Mark Waid. Or Gail Simone, for that matter.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Seeking Superman. Good to see you, Glenn. We're showing Superman right now. Well, actually, I'm specifically showing Creature Commandos cover for Action Comics. I wasn't originally going to get this because they didn't show the cover initially for FOC, but then once I saw this, yeah, I need that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another one where I'm going, now I don't really need that much more Batman, but when you see the creators on this one, Mark Waid and Sam Nee, yeah, I'm going to need to pick that up, especially since it's the very beginning of Robin.
Beautiful.
Waid has just been having a fantastic year, so anything that he puts his name on a title for over at DC, I'm going to need to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, a lot of people on the East Coast didn't get this book this week. There's some people that will have to wait.
Yep.
But this came out this week from my shop. Now, I don't need all of these covers, but they're Catwoman, and much like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy at this point, they're all cover buys for me. Many Faces of Selena Kyle. reasons to get it. Now, this is a fantastic cover. We've seen it a lot from Cho, but they're just gorgeous.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
And then here's another sleek cover. I think this is Lyrics. I'm not sure. I can think of 2 reasons to get it, but I don't want to be called sexist. But for women that like women, hey, Selena. She could kill me. That's what I like about women. I don't know why that is. If you can kill me, please don't kill me. It hurts and I don't die. Here's the foil cover reprint of Death of Flash.
Nice.
I was only getting the real keys in that because I already have the full run and it takes up like a good chunk of space to get it double. Why would I do that? Although I keep saying that one day it's going to be 1,000 years from now, and there's not going to be much more than maybe 5 comic books left in the world. And I don't mean like from each and every one of our collections. I mean like 5 altogether. And chances are they're not going to be this old stuff right here that's just going to turn to dust. It's probably going to be something like one of these shiny cover reprints. Those things will probably stand the test of time from like one collector that just shoved it away somewhere and it gets rediscovered. And then they say, hey, so Catwoman was Jesus? Wait, that's how things happened. There's our history of Earth, people. Speaking of history, here is Dark Knights of Steel All Winter. I've been hearing from a lot of people that this is even better than the first run.
Yeah.
It's only going to be 6 issues, I think, and I will read it when it's finished. Just like this series by Tom King, because Tom King deserves to be read all at once, month by month. It loses nuance to me, and he's a very nuanced writer, so because of that, I want to read it all at one time. I don't care if people spoil it for me. I just want to see the flow of the story. Now, here's another key this week. This is the first time Renee Montoya leads her own book. There's been other questions in the past, but this is the Renee Montoya lead by Alex Segura.
Anybody else think it's weird that we got the question and we're going to get Challengers of the Unknown before we get the actual Justice League book?
I mean, Al Ewing is going to be writing it's Ram V that's going to be writing the New Gods book. It's going to be ongoing. I can't wait for it. Champions, we'll see. Justice League Unlimited, I think that comes out in like 2 weeks or so. I remember ordering it on FOC maybe last week before.
Okay.
Now, this I was going to jump off, but then I saw who was writing it. Now, you might see John Layman down there at the bottom. For those that don't know who John Layman is, he wrote this great story called Chew just the last decade, and that was about this guy that his superpower was that he could eat something and tell you the entire history about it. He works for the FDA, and because of that, so in the future, chickens are illegal because there's a bird flu. So he has to go around solving crimes, including murders, where he will eat a piece of the body part. Really great story. So because of that, anything that he puts his name on, and this guy was about ready to give up doing comics for a while. I will buy his stuff. Now here we go, all in, and I am all in on Wonder Woman, whether it's Absolute or the regular title by Tom King. And even this, I haven't read more than the first 6 issues because I want to read them in arcs. Oh, what's next Wednesday, Glenn? Better late than never.
Oh, is that beautiful Nakayama?
Oh, speaking of which, I heard a certain somebody on Blue Sky is now following a certain Miracleman.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to David today, and we went back and forth a little bit, and he followed me, and I was like, totally cool. I'm cool. I'm definitely not nerding out. That's the coolest thing that's the only reason I keep dealing with social media is you get to meet and talk to creators and people I'd never get to talk to. I'm probably never going to get the opportunity to meet Nakayama. You know why? Because I'm not going to pay to go to NYCC or STCC ever, so he's not going to come to a shit con where I go. So it's awesome.
And personally, for me, I've been shot accidentally 3 times in my life, and because America is very, ammo sexual, we will call it. I am kind of afraid to go to a con just in case, because I will be that person that will likely get shot, and I don't want to get shot. But social media, yeah, I'm loving to engage, but just please don't direct message me, because that's why I ran away screaming from Instagram. I have like more than 50 messages, and I don't want to open Instagram because I'm scared to death to go like, I'm so sorry, I just didn't want to check. I'm just overwhelmed. So that's what anxiety feels like. Now, speaking of anxiety, here's Archie now being a superhero. Had to get this version cover for, reasons, historical and whatnot. Now, I heard this is a great story because it involves the woman in red.
Oh, I finally gave up on that book not long ago, and it's not that I wasn't enjoying it. I definitely was enjoying it, but I missed one issue, and it took me a minute to find it, and then I was just lost. It was like trying to dig out from just underneath way too much weight, because that story is thick.
I'd say so, but at the same time, certain issues really hit like I'm going to spoil it for some people. If you're reading the series and you aren't more than 20 issues in, just put your fingers in your ear, pretend you're on Mars, underground, going la 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 la. So while you're doing that, okay, here's what happened. So you found out that the guy that is Lee Harvey Oswald. He is the leader of the Department of Truth, and he's also completely imaginary.
Oh.
Because the whole conceit of the book is that as long as enough people believe in something, it becomes real, whether it's chupacabra, aliens, that America's the greatest country on earth. If you can get enough people to believe in the bullshit, it becomes real. So much to the point that the director of the Department of Truth is made up because he is the American dream.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm still on board. Now, what I can't explain, and here's the thing that I just saw in here when they were talking about next Wednesday. What's next Wednesday? Justice League is coming out. Justice League Unlimited by Mark Waid. Yes, please. All right, here's a series I'm still picking up, even though I have not read a single issue. I love Something's Killing the Children, but right before we went off air about 2 years ago and came back, I bought the first issue. I bought 3 different copies. One of them I put on the hood of my car as I'm putting everything else away because there's a stack, and I put all of them inside the car except one.
No,
and that was the variant cover. They ran over.
No.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll get around to reading this eventually, but you should see how much shit I'm behind on. Like, I still haven't even read the first issue of this. But it's Jeff Lemire, so yeah, I'll get it at least up until 6.
Right.
And this is another one I haven't read anything of yet, but it's Gerard Way, so I'll get the whole series and read it at some point when we have some free time. I mean, Gerard Way, this is the guy that was an intern over at Marvel, not even getting paid, and then he just started a side project where he became one of the biggest sensations of rock emo music in the early 2000s as My Chemical Romance. And that was his side gig, because what he really wants to be is a comic book writer. And when you read his stuff like Umbrella Academy, you'll see why. Now, I shouldn't be picking this up, but one day I'll get rid of it all. One day. I mean, sorry for the people working on it. I'm sure it's good, but there's just so much Spawn, and it's really, really thick and impenetrable to try and get into.
A lot of Spawn.
Now, this is something that should have come out last week. I'm glad it finally came out this week, because all of them were damaged, and there was only one cover that I want from all of these, and it's the Bjorn Barons cover.
Nice.
Dave Pepos, I will pick up anything you put out, my friend. He was one of our earliest guest stars on the show. He blew up. He is going to be writing, he just announced earlier today, on both Blue Sky First and then on Twitter. He's going to be writing Speed Racer for Mad Cave.
That's so great. That's so great.
Now, I am not a video gamer because I'm colorblind. I walk into walls and I fall off cliffs. That being said, when I hear that the former Rockstar Games senior artist Stephen Bliss has written something, I don't know who that is, but I should at least give it a chance, especially if it's only like what, $3.99, $4.99. I'm sorry, $5. Yeah, I'll throw $5 at this. I want to see what this is about. Murderous Thumper? Yes, please. All right, last 2 books that came out this week. I get this entire series from my buddy Rufo, but there was one cover I had to keep to myself because now that we're 101 issues in, this is a violent ass cover. And if you watch the TV series, you know what happened. If you read the series, it was haunting and you didn't want to go to work the next day. I didn't want to go to work the next day because I was drunk like 10 years ago when it first came out. But this cover, now that it's so low print, I just had to get this one for myself.
Oh man, that's
the
rough.
Glenn cover.
Oof.
This thing will probably be the lowest print copy that came out from the color reprint version. So,
without a doubt.
Yes. Certain ones you keep. Now, here's the last one. This is, I imagine, a reprint because it says it's the archive edition, is James Tiny Onion. I've never read the original, so yeah, I'll pick this up, and if it's good, I'll find the originals.
Yeah, it was a good story. It was a good story.
And wow, I just ate up plenty of time. I thought we were going to have a short show over here. We're at 51 minutes. Let's see if you have any more books. I think I chewed up enough scenery. No one wants to see this ugly mug. You want to see that?
I got a couple more. We'll go out with the new stuff here. I'll go through them fairly quickly with a little pause at the end. So, Geiger, the Ghost Machine stuff has been great. Geiger's in my estimation, the best book. Marvel Zombies Dawn of Decay #3 came out. My shop unfortunately was hit with the lack of DC stuff. So I don't have my DC books this week. I'm very disappointed. But I got all my others. Where Monsters Lie, Cul-de-sac. This book is fantastic. This is the sequel. It was a 4-issue mini. Same creative team, and the whole concept is all the worst monsters from horror films all live in the same community. And one of the final girls, who actually is a guy, trains his whole life. He's basically the Batman of the universe, and he goes in there and he kills them all. And this is the sequel. And then, of course, I too got the Archie as Mr. Justice and the same beautiful cover you did. Here's Monsters #2.
That was the one that did not come out for me, so I have to wait till next week.
Beautiful, great cover. This is a really good book. This is really fun. The Pedestrian from Magma Comics. Look, Magma's been just putting out banger after banger after banger. Their books have been fantastic. Really been enjoying.
I'm going to need to order this whole series when it's finally over because I missed the first 2 issues after I heard how great it was. I'm like, I'll just wait and order it all as a bundle.
I promise you, no matter what you think this book is, it's more. I promise you.
I've been hearing nothing but good things.
Really good. Ultimate Spider-Man 11. I got the variant there, the first Black Cat cover appearance. Lady Death, Demonic Omens. I have a soft spot for the Lady Death books all the way back from when she was a Chaos Comics character. I don't know if I just missed that, but it was in my bin for our friends at Ahoy. Mark Russell, Peter Krause. They've been doing this book. This is the sequel to their first one. It's a very tongue-in-cheek Batman 66 style universe. The Terminator #2 from Dynamite. This I was shocked with how much I enjoyed the first issue. Dynamite has this thing where they'll give you 1 good issue or 2 good issues, maybe 3, and then they kind of they give you 30 fill-in issues, and then every once in a while there's another good one. But enjoying it so far. A Power Fantasy. If you're not reading that one, you're missing one of the best books on the stands, hands down.
Okay, I've been hearing that it's easily comparable to what came out a while ago from Kwanzaa Ozejafo. I probably butchered that name. I'm so sorry, Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa.
Black. Is it
Right.
kind of like that?
Um, there's elements that are similar. In Black, the only people who had powers were black people. And the world worked to hide that. In this, there's lots of people who have powers, but the concept is that there's only like 6 that are. So you know how in the world there's 2 superpowers,
Yeah.
Russia and the United States. China quickly moving into it, becoming a superpower. In this universe, there are 6 superpowers, but we're talking about people with the power to destroy the world. And they have to make sure they don't fight each other, because otherwise the world will end. Now, I did an order from Moonstone. This is going to be the last books I show you here. I did this order from Moonstone Books, okay, right from their site. I wasn't sure if I was going to get them because the site's kind of janky, but I got them. And
Hey, sometimes a janky place will get you some good books.
they were there. Look, Moonstone in general is not typically your top tier of comics. I'm not going to lie, but they make some good books, and they use a lot of. They have this whole series of horror characters, the Moonstone monsters.
Okay, here's the good question: how do they send it? Is it at least in a Gemini or well protected?
It was well packed.
Okay,
I could tell that these were sitting, in a stack somewhere, though. They
yeah, a little spine roll.
Little spine roll. This is Savage Beauty cover B and cover C. Had to get the pair.
Oh yeah,
Right. Had to get them both. Here's Domino Lady threesome. They do a lot of pulp characters, and now it's a threesome because there's 3 women characters. It's not a threesome like you're thinking, My Kill. Not that this next cover, which is probably the best cover that Moonstone has ever published. This is written by Nancy Holder. And I'm not real sure Francescu is the artist, but here you go. Check that beauty of a cover out.
whoa.
Phenomenal cover. You can't find these on the back issue market. First of all, it's a Moonstone book. Second of all, nobody's giving that one up, but they still sell them new and they were on sale. So I got 2. I had to get, it was $1 under cover price. So I got 2 of them. Might as well, right? And this is one of their better stories from them too. Nancy's a very solid writer. It's a good adventure story. If you like,
You read it?
I did.
So what's it about?
So it's a period piece, right? And they're just solving a mystery. And of course, just like every other comic where you have 3 different superheroes run into each other, at first they think each other are the bad guy. And so it's a solid story. If you like the pulp heroes, which I have a soft spot for the pulp heroes, it's worth it. Michael, and always taking us off the rails, buddy. Love it. It's definitely a story worth reading if you like them. And again, Moonstone, they makes solid books. There's probably nothing that you're going to say is my favorite book ever, but they're all enjoyable, and they do books about characters nobody else is doing. Kolchak, they have Captain Action, right? They have Captain Action. They have Domino Lady. They have a couple of original characters that interact in that universe. They do the original Spider. Like I said, a lot of the pulp stuff. So check them out sometime. You go to their site. You can order books directly from them. They also do a book called Cheerleaders versus Zombies, which is a little more tongue-in-cheek or boob and butt type of book.
I think I got that.
Yeah, they've done many of them. So worth a peek, but I would recommend at least perusing this site one time. And that's it. That's all of them.
Well, now that we're approaching the 1 hour mark, Lady Fantastic has been over at Immortal Biggie Shack doing a show. So jump over there, check them out. Jig's Kingdom might be appearing in the next few minutes or so. Otherwise, Old Wolf Tony, he did his Hot Wing Challenge just this last weekend. It was a lot of fun. Check that out over at his channel, Old Wolf 65. And I'm going to just do one last thing. A lot of you have been watching lately as I've been trying to reconstruct this room. It's almost done. I'm trying to get it because you might have also seen Biggie Shack has been doing a background check on everybody. And this isn't like the traditional like FBI background check that they would do for incoming members of, like Attorney General or House members or anything like that. Now, we're not going to talk politics, but he does actual background checks, but these kind. He gave me a 10, and this was back when the room was kind of not up to par. It's almost there. I'm going to show you. So over here, you might have remembered this used to be a giant poster of the Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is now the DC section, where you have my war books at the top, some Action Comics. Up there is going to be all my issue 1s and incomplete miniseries of independent books. I'll put the DC Universe stuff over there. There's all the DC stuff. Now, under there, we'll get a little more difficult because I have 6 boxes over there of nothing but Spider-Man, including 2 more stacks that'll require at least another long box. So because of that, I need to figure out a place to put some of them under there and maybe some off to the side. Finished up the Marvel section just prior to broadcast. And back over here, here's the rest of the Marvel stuff. And I installed 2 lights on either side, and I will get that working hopefully by the weekend. But the room's coming together. This is what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks. Then right next to me, I'm going to put all the independent books. Don't know if I'm going to put them long way this way or long way this way, where you might be able to see some of them, but you might not see some of the DC and Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a problem for me. Not as bad as Batman, because that takes up almost an entire damn shelf now. Slow down on Batman, folks. But otherwise, by the time you watch next week, and yes, next week I will be back. I don't know if Miracleman or Lady Fantastic will, but I know that it's around the holidays, and during the holidays, a lot of people can face depression. I understand that very well. It's why I used to be an alcoholic for so damn long. And if you don't have anything better to do and you have to deal with family and infighting, come on over and check out Not Near Mint next Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. I will make sure I will show the new top 10 and answer questions, maybe show some books from the back issues. And if everybody's here, we'll just do our regular show and tell. But otherwise, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I'll be back next week. Miracleman, is there anything you want to leave the audience with?
Wash your butt. Don't be a jerk, and stay alive.
Yeah, always remember, rule number 1 is don't die, but rule number 2 is also important too. Don't be a dick. And with that, thank you all. We'll see you next week. And what's this that Glenn has to say? I have 25 short boxes, all Superman and Superman related.
Nice.
And now that's probably the right way to do things so that you don't look like an enormous hoarder like I kind of do sometimes. But thank you, Las Cruces. He's probably our biggest fan. He comments every episode, and I thank you so much for that. Everybody else, if there's something you want to see coming up in the future, let us know by commenting in the chat, or rather than the chat, comment at the end of the show. We'd always love to hear from you. But otherwise, we will see you again next week. Thank you all for joining us. Go check out Biggie. Go check out Jig's Kingdom, and check out the Discord that Jig's Kingdom has. It's pretty awesome. He showed a certain fight that was glitchy as hell, but luckily like 10 people were trying to stream it at the same time. So he just jumped around from one to one to go, well, this was fucking pointless. Yeah. except for the women fight. That was, wow. That was ruthless and awesome. Good night, everybody. Love you. Bye.
Night, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.
We will be having a new intro and outro coming in December. For some reason, it has to play this before it ends. Yeah, we're totally a non-professional organization over here. We don't get paid for doing this. We're here for the fun. Not quite a train wreck, but we have cats and we have comics.
So
Good night.